you got to bring in new people all the time too. It has to be this, symbiote. You've got to be nurturing the people, but bringing new people in. Greatest way to do that is to get in front of other people's audiences that have your target audience. I want to make sure that's really, really clear. You get on all the podcasts in the world with the wrong audience, it's going to get you nowhere. So make sure that you're getting onto podcasts or collaborating with people who have your ideal audience.
Elite Expert Insider podcast. We're really excited today to have an expert in online courses. It's Angelic Marnier, and we're really excited. She's founder of Hollywood Online Courses, and her agency helps leaders, content creators, coaches, consultants, speakers, entrepreneurs, all the people who want a high quality course. So, really excited to dive into her expertise today. And she is based in LA, and she has a handful of private investment clients as well. So, welcome, Angelic.
Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for having me. I appreciate allowing me to be in your space and, be able to talk to your people. That means a lot to me. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. And we want to dive in. So, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into knowing about online courses and kind of getting into it. So, what's your background history?
Yeah. So background is I come from a marketing background. So I actually worked for, as like you said, I'm here in LA. And, jumping out when, once you graduate, I graduated from UCLA, I just knew I was going to go into entertainment, right? Because that's what everybody here does: movies, television, production. Yeah. And so, yeah, I did work for two of the more prominent studios. I worked with Fox Family, and Disney. And I learned from them how to market. So that was the beginnings, very, humble beginnings, but great places to really learn from. And I'm so grateful for that time. And a lot of what I do now is a lot of the stuff that I kind of learned from the big boys, like on how to market, how to get yourself in front of the right audience and things of that nature. So yeah, that's where I started. And then when I decided that, yeah, right, I'd like to be an entrepreneur, I got out there and decided to jump out. And I shouldn't have jumped out because it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And bumped my head, bruised my knees a lot. Like really, it was not a straight path. And I tried a lot of things, honestly. Like I tried drop shipping and I
Mhm.
tried affiliate marketing and foreign exchange, like multi-level marketing, anything you can think of, I tried. I did all of those were great. I just didn't do well at them. But the
Mhm.
one thing I was able to get going was I was able to create an online course. And I can't say it made a lot of money out the gate, but honestly, I started in 2019. And then by 2021, I had my first six-figure year, and then it just began to elevate from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of trials and tribulations, but finally figured it out, and now I'm able to help my client not have those same struggles. I'm
Mhm.
able to kind of shortcut their journey and help them to start making money a lot faster than I did.
Yeah. I love that you talked about your journey of entrepreneurship because I think it's true with almost all of us that we've tried different things or had our hands in multiple businesses. And then now we're with all those expertise and things that you learned from where we probably call them failures, but they're actually successes because you learned. Then
Yeah,
you have a successful business and you can help others to do the same.
that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us, like, what's the number one thing? Like, how do you know? Like, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, you should have a course, but what kind of things do you need to have to be like, okay, I should have a course, or my next step is I'm going to have an online course? What kind of things
Yeah,
do you?
that's a really good question. So, a lot of times you should have a course. So, one, if you're doing one on one coaching, so there's only one of you and there's only 24 hours in a day, a lot of times you're either burnt out, or you can't service all the clients that need you because you're still just one person that can get to one person. So, it's a great way to scale your business. It's a great way to scale it without having to spend a whole lot of money. Because a lot of times when we scale, what do we have to do? We have to put a lot of money into ads and marketing to grow. And you also have to bring on a lot of new employees. But with an online course, you don't have to do either of those things. You're able to get out if you're, in Utah or California, but you're going to have clients and I have clients in Dubai and Pakistan and in Europe and in Canada. But I'm right here still in LA, but I'm able to service them as well. I mean, you can also get to Harlem and North Dakota, like wherever you need to get
Mhm.
to, you can get to all of those places and you can still be at home, but you're able to scale your business without having to expend a lot of money. And to me, that's just the best business model ever. So if you're running into a crunch where you don't have a lot of time for your clients, or if you just, a lot of times, sometimes people will come to me and they do one on one coaching, but those people can't afford them one-on-one. Well, hey, you can, instead of like, leaving money on the table, you can tell them like, hey, you can't afford that. That's okay. I got a whole course where I'm going to walk you step by step by step, just like I'm teaching you in real time, but it's for a fraction of the cost.
Mhm.
People would love to do that. So those are the people that I think should be creating courses. If you're running out of time, or if you are not able to service all of your clients, this is a great way to just go ahead and service as many people as you possibly can and get paid for it at the same
I
time.
love that. So if someone had a
Yeah.
product or service that they offer that's a high ticket item, would they be able to come
Mhm.
to you and say, "Help me build a course out of this because I don't know even where to start?" Like, what kind of processes or systems do you help people through? Or do they need to come to you with like, "Oh, I already know what I'm going to say in the videos and I already know what I want to do the course on." How does that work or how does the
Yeah,
process work?
that's a great question. We take everybody. Yeah, we help everybody. We're not gonna shun you because you don't have your stuff together. Like sometimes people just come with a thought, like,
I
"Hey, I'm a great at motivating people." Well, you're like, "Okay, that's good. But how are we gonna create a course?" So we really got to pull out some things. Like, okay, well, who do you motivate? How do you motivate them? What's been your process? What's the mindset? Like, we really have to extract a lot, and that's fine. That's
Mhm.
what we're here for. But we also get clients who have a book, or they've already been speaking on
Mhm.
stages, or they're polished, and then we're able to work with them as well. We take the book, we extract out of the book, with all the, AI and everything else, we're able to pull out really the crux of it and then build that out into a step-by-step course. So we help everybody. That's our job,
Yeah.
right? Like if I'm a course creator, this is what I do. I need to be able to help any and everybody really figure out what they can bring to the
Mm.
marketplace. Now, here's one caveat. You got to have something to bring to the marketplace,
Right.
though. I can't help you necessarily do that. Now, I can brainstorm with you and try to see what I can pull, but a lot of times that's some heavy lifting on my part. That's not
Mhm.
really my thing, which is to but I've done it for clients and we're able to figure out what's great about them. But it is nice when we talk to people and they're already people who have a book, or people who are already, thought leaders, or people who are already on stages
Mhm.
because we have something to pull from. So it makes it a little bit easier, but yeah, we work with everybody.
Right. Well, I really like that because we learned a long time ago with publishing books, and we have told our authors many times that when you publish a book, it can also be a course, right? So if your book is really
Yeah.
robust, and if you have a ton of stuff in your book, you can make it smaller and more concise with a course, right? And then vice versa, if you have a really small book that just touches base on it, you could have a course that goes really deep into it.
Great point.
Yeah. So I think that's really good that
No,
you
I
touched on, your book is your course is your book. And if you're a speaker,
yeah.
and course is perfect because then you have something to sell at the end of your talk.
Yeah, that's a great, great, great point. And it also allows you to align yourself now in this digital age. It allows you to really show people that I am the expert. So I can't tell you how many of my clients didn't have a book or wasn't on stages. And now, like my client Suzanne, like she's been able to just, so many spokes have come just from her putting together an online course. So it's pretty cool, and, just like how, some people have a podcast, like there's so many things that you can create from a course, but it does align you and really kind of bolster you up as that expert. When you tell people you have an online course, they're like, oh, wow, you have an actual course, a curriculum? Like, yeah, I do. And it opens up a lot more doors, and it allows you to, add some credibility. So I think it's a great, like, to your point, if you can have a book and you have an online course and you're on, speaking stages, I think that you can command even a higher price point for what you're doing based on the fact that you have all this credibility. It's almost like you're a celebrity.
Yeah, I really like that too. And I was thinking of when you're talking about the courses, it's like if you have a course that you can bring someone to and you have the deep dive of it, like you have more meat, so to speak,
Mhm.
of the course,
Mhm.
then someone can really dive in and then maybe it is a lower price point that then they can then hire you for the next service because now they know I can trust you after they watch the course that then they can dive into that. So I think that
Yeah, definitely.
do you help
No, that's
people
fine.
with the actual course creation or tell us a little bit about your process with or do they come with to you with the videos and then you help them put it up on a platform?
We're pretty
Mm.
much full service, to be honest. So a lot of what we're doing in the very beginning is what nobody wants to do, which is the market research. So I have a team that actually researches like Because like sometimes people come with all kinds of ideas. Like I'm great at this, I'm great at
Mhm.
piano, but I'm also great at teaching people Spanish. But I'm also great with kids and helping moms potty train. Like they got all
Mhm.
these things, and it's like, okay, well, let's figure out which one will actually get you some sales.
Yeah.
Like because I'm all about, I really want to help people monetize because I feel like the more monetization you have, the more you can do good in the world, but it also validates you as the course creator. So it's all about me helping them make money so they can feel that validation. So
Yeah.
it's up to my team and I to figure out, okay, of all these ideas that you have, which one is in most demand in the market right now? And that's the one that we'll go with. Nobody wants to research and go and
Yeah.
look but we've got to do that because we have to set you up for success. I don't want you to come out with a course that's not going to sell or is totally saturated. So we do that market research just to make sure we set you up for success. So whatever course you're coming out with, we've already done the research and we know there's market demand and we know who your actual target audience is. So that's really
Mhm.
the first process is really digging deep into that. What's great about us doing that is now when we bring the data and the numbers to our client, we can now help them with the content because we know all the questions that are being asked. So
Right.
there's no guesswork like, well, what should I put in the course?
Yeah.
Or what? No, you don't even need to. We got you covered. We're going to take care of that as well. Hey, here are the questions you need to be asking. Here are the questions people need help with. And then you get to bring your own flavor to it. Bring your own, some of my clients have accents, bring your accent or bring your background, bring your stories, bring your passion. Like it's not going to be boring. We're going to add to this that we found online, but you bring your passion to it. So we definitely help them with the content. We build everything out for them. They don't need to be tech savvy. Nope, that was taking up too much of my client's
Yeah.
time at one point, so I got rid of that. Brought in a team that will build out the course, and then we even help them with the marketing piece, which is really our secret sauce, like where we really outshine a lot of our competitors.
Yeah.
They'll teach you how to get to a course, create a course, but what are you
And what
supposed
are
to
you
do with
gonna
a
do with it?
course?
Well, let's carve in the marketing
Exactly.
for a second and go back to market research because I think this is a
Sure.
really key point that a lot of entrepreneurs miss, and this is why you have multiple businesses because you fail because you didn't
Yeah.
succeed with what you wanted because you come up with an idea and then you make the widget and then you go out and I learned this from an Amazon course. We went down to Vegas and listened to these guys that sell how to sell your Amazon product on Amazon, kind of a workshop.
Oh,
And
yes.
we thought we were
Yep.
gonna learn about books, but we learned that it was more about products. But either way, we learned some really cool things. But it's like you make the widget and then you go out and say, "Everyone buy my widget." And everyone's like, "Yeah, but I don't want that widget and it doesn't solve any of my problems and it's cool and shiny, but nah, I'm buying it." So you spent
Yeah.
all this time and all this research, all this energy, and all these years creating the widget and nobody wants it. And
Yeah.
so I like that you do the
Yeah.
market research part first because you're coming up
Yeah.
with what is the product that you're going to create for this online course that people want,
Hmm.
that there's a high demand
Yeah.
for, that you've already done the market research. So you know that
Hmm.
right out the gate, you're going to be able to make sales because people want this information. People want this
Right.
course and they want to be able to solve the problem. So I think that's really
Yeah. It's
important
highly
in
important.
any entrepreneurship, in any job, is if you don't have a product or service that people want all the time or they want, they're gonna consume, because they wanna solve their problem, then no one's gonna buy your thing. Spell it wrong,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
market
no, you're spot
research
on, and
is
that's why we do it. Yeah, it's the only way to really go in with truly, your eyes open as to what is the need, what are the questions people need help
yeah,
with, and who is the audience that would be
yeah,
willing to pull out their wallets. Like, I don't care how
yeah,
much this course costs. Give me that because you're speaking my
yes.
language, and that
Mhm,
is what I think. That's why we do it from the onset.
mhm,
Yeah, if you were to put together a business plan, this is what you
yeah,
need. You need to know your
yep.
audience, your product, how you're gonna market it. So it's really
Start
we
with that
put
and
together the
with the
business
videos
plan.
because you got the videos come in the middle
Oh
or later.
gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Because you need to know what your target audience is either struggling with or the goal they want to get
Mm,
to. If you can speak keenly into people's direct needs, like I said, it's almost like you're speaking to their heart. People buy because they're like, oh, you get me. Like, oh, you're talking to directly to, X, Y, and Z. That's me. She understands me. She gets me. She sees my struggles and she can get me to the goal. I want to work with her. And that's what the market research sets you up to do.
yes, I love that. And now let's talk about marketing because we say this when we do
Yeah.
book publishing too. It's like, why would you put a book out there and not tell anyone? So it's the same with courses. Why would you put a course online and then be like, okay, everyone come by, but you forgot to tell everyone where to go, like how to buy.
And
So tell us a little bit about the marketing and how you help people to get sales on the course.
yeah, so again, we go back to the market research, you know, figure out what they want and then give it to them. Like that's really key. So everything really, really, really is the fundamentals has to be based on the marketplace and the data that you collected from the beginning research. So yeah, a lot of times we're looking for when we're looking at the marketing, like what are their issues? And then we can take those issues and we can come up with messaging that speaks directly to what they're struggling with, and we can show how this course will rectify or be like the ease to it or the elixir to these issues, or how it's going to get you to the goal. So because we did that research, and a lot of our marketing just really looks at the data and comes up with messaging based upon that. But also what's been working really well for us is kind of like this, doing podcasts, like get on other people's platforms.
Mhm.
So you got your people that you're nurturing all the time, but you gotta bring in new people all the time too. It has to be this, symbiote. You've gotta be nurturing the people, but bringing new people in. Greatest way to do that is to get in front of other people's audiences that have your target audience. I wanna make sure that's really, really clear. You get on all the podcasts in the world with the wrong audience, it's gonna get you nowhere. So make sure that you're getting onto podcasts or collaborating with people who have your ideal audience.
Mhm.
It is such a great way to go ahead and because this person has already backed you, so their people will be like, "Oh, okay, so they must have vetted them out." It's a great way to get in front of people that you probably never would have gotten in front of otherwise. And you know what also has done really, really well for us has been master classes and webinars
Mhm.
this year and
Mhm.
last year too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because people get to kinda hang out with you. They get to, see if they like you. Maybe everybody's not gonna like you. Somebody is. And whoever those people who actually like you, it's easy to make a sale at the end of that webinar or
Mhm.
masterclass because you actually give them some value. So if we're only just talking ethereal and selling the whole webinar, that hasn't been my model. That wouldn't be teach people how to do something. And then a lot of times by the end, they're like, "Oh, I can't do this on my own, or is there any other way you can help me out?" And you're like, "Hey, of course.
Mhm.
Here's a step-by-step course where I put everything together for you. Follow these steps and, and ping me if you have a question or something like that." That's the greatest way. You poured into them, they're willing to pour into you, and that to me has done really well. So getting in front of other people's audiences, having key messaging based on the data, and doing webinars and master classes has been a great success recipe for us this year.
I really like that. Yeah. And what would you say the main difference of webinars and master classes are? What would be the main difference?
I don't know if there is, it's the vernacular,
Yeah.
but a webinar typically, you might be walking people through more of a concept like, hey, it's a great idea to create a course. Here's why. I like to do a master class on, hey, here are the steps. Figure out your audience, put together your data. Let's figure out your market. Like I want it more to be more interactive, more workshop style in a master class. Because if I'm the master, if I got mastery over this, I should really be teaching you some really fundamental details that can
Yeah.
get you to the next level. Webinar more conceptual, maybe more high level. I like a master class to be a little bit more intimate
Mhm.
and a lot more interactive, more workshop style. Like let me have you think about who is your audience instead of just telling you need to find an audience. Great. Start thinking about who would your audience actually be. Write that
Yeah.
down really quickly. You want to put that in the chat? Like I like
More
those to be a little
action,
bit more.
interactive.
Yeah, yeah. I think you should get a little bit more out of a master class. But again, that's me.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah, I
yeah.
think I like that too because I think that the word a master class, I mean, webinar's been around for a long time, but the master class is like, oh, I'm going to go learn from the experts and I'm actually going to be, it's a class.
Mhm.
So I'm going to learn stuff. I'm going to
Yeah.
be getting taught.
Yes.
So that's really good. So let's talk about
Yeah.
pricing. Like, do you help people with how to price their course and how to
Yeah.
set up, like, if it's like, they say to do like a low barrier entry to high barrier entry, or how do you know what to price it? Or do you just like, oh, I'm going to charge $5,000? How do you know what to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I mean, you can look at the competition. That's a great place to start. And if you think about it, for my clients, I never want them to be the cheapest.
Mhm.
I just don't want that. And so when you're looking at pricing, I don't want you to try to undercut somebody else who's already cheap because we're not cheap. We're not making cheap stuff. We're
Sure.
not giving away cheap ideas. Some of the stuff we're doing could change somebody's life for the better, whether it's health wise or financial wise, or even, you might help somebody build their marriage when they were about to, it's about to crumble.
Yeah.
I mean, that's priceless. So there's no way for me to put a price on something like that. But what I have found right now is the sweet spot
Mhm.
for most courses right now is between $497 to $997.
Mhm.
People will pay that pretty simply. Do I have clients who are charging less than that? I do. Do I have clients charging more than that? I do.
Mhm.
But the sweet spot right now, $497 to $997 is a great place to be. And people don't mind spending that kind of
Mhm.
money for transformation. Let's be very, very clear on that. You've got to have something that transforms somebody's life. Go from A, I don't know how to do something, to Z. I now know how to do it and I feel confident doing that. That's our job as course creators.
Yeah, I like that. And then how do
Yeah.
you know if you need multiple courses? And when do you need to know if you need to redo your course? Because back in the
Yeah.
day, we had a course that was like A to Z of how to write your book, how to publish your book, and how to become a bestseller, like the whole shebang. And then a couple, I don't know how long ago it was, probably 3 or 4 years ago, we did a summit and they told us you should sell two courses. And so split them up. So it
Mm.
was like, here's your book writing and here's your publishing. And that was okay, but then now it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of things that have changed in the last 10 years in publishing, so maybe we need to re-record it, but then how do you know
Hmm.
what course to record? So it's like, do I record the whole thing or do you do segments or do you do mini courses? Like, what's your take on that?
Well, I mean, hey, there's more, always, my mama said, there's more than one way to skin a
Yeah,
cat. So it's, you can, it would be totally up to you and your business
yeah.
model. But as far as how do you know if you need to create another course, what I would say is in each course, just teach people one thing. Like
Mhm.
when people try to teach them this and that, people get overwhelmed and they won't finish the course. Just
Yeah,
teach them how to do one thing.
yeah,
And then from there, if you're like, okay, how to, how to drive a
yeah,
car. Just teach them how to do that. You don't need to teach them how to, drive an SUV or a big rig. If they've now figured out how to drive the car and you now want to help them in another course on how to drive a motorcycle, well, then come out with that course,
yeah,
and if you want to bundle the two, feel free, but just teach people one good thing. That's all they really want right now. And then you can always have more courses, of course. Like, if you want to teach people how to, write their first book, that's great. But then maybe they want to do a series.
mhm,
Okay, well, that's a different course. Like they want to do an anthology, like that's something different.
mm,
So that's what I tell people. If you can always create another course, but start off with just one course and let that one do well. And then based on the data that you get from people telling you about the course, there might be some updates that you need to do. Like you said,
mhm.
I don't think you need to redo a whole course unless
Update.
it's something with tech. Now, tech is totally different. Tech changes every
Yeah,
day. That's a hard, yeah, that one. But to have to redo it, I think the fundamentals of how to write a book or things, I think there's certain things that are fundamental that don't
yeah.
change. Now, the industry's changed and how we do things change, of course, and you make those updates. But to have to do a whole course over, I think that's a heavy lifting. So
Cool.
I would advise somebody not to do that because typically, if you have to do a whole course over, you're not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I
And
also
so,
like how you talked about market research in the beginning because I think if we were to
yeah,
even look at that, we'd probably come to you and hire you and be like, okay, what's the market research? What do people actually want? Let's start with that course
yeah.
and then go from there. Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's been a game changer for me in my business. Once I tell people I'm willing to do that, it has been a game changer. And I don't see too many people doing that or stressing it,
mhm,
but it's what I learned in marketing from the big
mhm,
boys. You really have to look at your target audience and what their needs are.
mhm.
And then even if you think it's one thing, if the data says something else, you got to go with the data.
Right. Yeah, I see that with Disney all the time and all the big
Yeah.
companies really, is you see something
Mhm.
come out
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, I was wondering when they were gonna do that one." Oh,
Yeah.
I don't wanna see that. You're like, "Oh, I wanna see that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah. So yeah, to me, a lot of people, some of my clients, not all of my clients, they'll want to do another course. And it's really based on, hey, I did this course. Now people are asking me for the next thing. So, okay. So yeah, some people, just want to know how to do one thing. And now they've learned how to do that one thing. They want to know the next thing. Like people want to learn how to just bake a lasagna. And now they want to learn how to put together a 4-course meal.
You're
Well, that's a whole nother course.
right.
So yeah.
I like
Yeah, and that's how you can keep recurring revenue coming in.
yeah.
If you're always servicing your client, you're continuing to service these people who are beginners, but maybe you have a medium,
Mhm,
and then an expert
mhm.
class. Like you can and they just continue to pop. That's how you get that recurring revenue coming in on a consistent basis, and that's what we all want. We all want consistent money coming in that we're not necessarily having to work for,
Right.
and that's the greatest thing about courses. You'll create that course one time, just let it sell, baby. Sell, sell, sell.
Mhm.
You don't have to do too much work. I'm not saying there's no work, 'cause you still need to market it, but it's not the heavy lifting of do a job and get paid. This is do the job one time and get paid over and over and over
Yeah,
for it.
I like that. And then let's
Yeah.
do talk a little bit of tech, even though some people aren't technical and don't want to do the tech part and don't want to know what software, how to use the software. But do you
Mhm.
usually go with the software or the platform that the client wants to use, or do you have a specific platform that you use where you submit, all the videos and have, the back end of the course?
Yeah, we're working about 5 different platforms,
Okay.
so there's too many different ones that are popping up all the time, and I have no clue if they're gonna stick around,
Hmm.
so it wouldn't be helpful to my clients if, these people shut down work and because 'cause we're not gonna be able to redo the course over. I don't wanna be in that business. So we've got 5 that we work in, those have been around, and we assume they'll continue to be
Yeah.
around. So, yeah, but we do allow the client to choose, yes, because some of them already have a course or they already have a platform, and so we can work in those. But yeah, we'll use about 4 or 5 of them and build out the course for them, which has been a relief. A lot of them are like, "I don't have to build the course." Like, "No, you do not have to build the course. We got you. We'll get it done in like a week or 2 where it's gonna take you a month. We don't need
Right.
that." So,
Right. Or I like
yeah.
that. I like that you have, a track history where you know which platforms were great, which tech is the right tech, and you don't just go
Yeah.
to the shiny objects. Yeah. The new ones that are gonna break. Perfect.
Yeah.
Or the old ones
Exactly.
which you
Yeah.
already know are broken. So don't use them.
Yeah, and then there's that. Yes, 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 you're right. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here, and tell us one
Yeah.
last tip for those of us who don't have a course yet, who would like to have a course.
Mhm.
What's one tip you can give us?
I would say just start. Just start thinking. Just brainstorm. Like I would take 20 minutes. Like, what are you great at? What do people come to you for advice about? What do you like to do in your spare time? Maybe like people don't think about maybe you're a great mom and have a relationship with your kids, or maybe you are, the person that everybody comes to for relationship advice, or maybe you built a great catering business or whatever it is. Other people want to learn how to do what you've done. Like everybody wants to have a great, I think everybody wants to be a great mom or a great dad.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to have a great marriage. Everybody wants to have a successful business. Hey, if you've done it, and a lot of times people are like, but I'm just a mom. Yeah, but somebody else is struggling to be a great mom and you know how to do it so well. So why not just help them? And you get to help me to do good in the world, you get to get paid for it.
Mhm.
Like, that's the win-win. Like, people will actually compensate you for that. To me, that's the win-win. So I would just say, just start. And you don't have to think about, oh, I want to make hundreds of thousands, even though that's my thing. I want to help my clients make hundreds of thousands. But even if you make $2,000 a month, let's just say you make $2,000 a month, it's still 24,000 at the end of the year, and it really can make a difference. It can be college tuition. It can help you pay for a great vacation for your family, whatever it is, and you're doing this, you're having fun doing it. It's not something stressful. You're putting the information out there. You're doing goodwill, and for that you're being compensated. So my biggest thing would be just start. Just think of something you can put out there in the world and just start just do that. That's the biggest tip I can give people is just start.
I love that. Well, tell us where people can go
Yeah.
to find you and to get more information.
Yeah, sure thing. So if you are on Instagram, just put my name in, Angelique.Marnier. And I'm the same thing pretty much across all of the socials. So anything with Angeli, I am with a C. So Angelic, and then Marnier, Marnier. You can find me there, or, go to my website, which is onlinecourses with an S.com. You can find me anywhere. Yeah. So and I'm always a resource. Whatever you need help with course creation, I'll definitely always help you out.
Great. Thank you so much, Angelique, for being here. And I apologize. I mispronounced your name in the beginning. So sorry about that.
Oh no, but I'll take it. I'm okay with angelic. It means I'm kind of like an angel,
Uh,
so I don't have any issues with that.
Okay,
So yeah,
awesome.
no, you're
But we'll
good.
put
And
your URLs up in the show notes so people can go and click the link. They can go follow you on social media and check out HollywoodOnlineCourses.com.
it'll be great.
Awesome. Thanks for
Fantastic.
being here.
Appreciate
This
you.
has been Elite
Thank you.
Expert Insider. If you'd like to share this podcast with someone who you know who would use it, please do so. And then, of course, subscribe and follow. And we'd love to have your comments. So please comment what you liked about this podcast so we can know and improve it for next time. Bye.
Hey, are you looking to increase your revenue, build credibility, and elevate your brand? This podcast is brought to you by Elite Online Publishing, an innovative publishing and full spectrum marketing company. They will publish and market your book to make it a #1 bestseller. Becoming an author is the best way to market your business. So contact them at eliteonlinepublishing.com today. All of their authors become #1 bestsellers.